How are people faring in the rain in Southcrest and Mountain View? We're monitoring the Chollas Creek storm channel in a live report.
Evictions put on pause for those impacted by the storm, but tonight we'll introduce you to residents who still feel like they're being forced out.
The coastal area, one of many impacted by today's storm. I'm Shanna Handy with a look at conditions here coming up.
CBS 8 News Live at 5 starts right now.
This is CBS 8 News Live at 5.
Tonight, anxiety and fears of more flooding have turned to relief for now. The Chollas Creek storm channel appeared to be flowing today as rain fell across San Diego County. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Marcella Lee. We have team coverage for you. Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis has been tracking the storm all week long. We'll check in with her in just a few moments for a look at the forecast. Our Jenny Day is out in National City where some people are facing evictions after last week's floods. But first, let's get out to Brian White, who's in Southcrest, an area that was greatly impacted last week. Brian, how does the flood channel look tonight?
The storm water is flowing like it should in the channel here. I'm going to step out of the way and give you a live look at the water flowing through the Chollas Creek storm channel. Now, it's not obstructed by any trees or debris this time, so it's been allowed to flow freely throughout the day, giving at least a small sense of relief to neighbors whose homes back up to the channel. Stormwater rushing through the Chollas Creek storm channel.
It looks like it's a whole new day.
I ran into Raul Landavaso as he was checking the water level in Mountain View.
It looks like it's flowing now. That's what it's supposed to do all along.
The situation calm here on 42nd Street. Sandbags in front of doorways and garages. Many people staying in hotels with vouchers handed out by the YMCA.
We're still not sure if we're going to leave yet, but if we do stay in, of course, we're going to try to save what we can. If it gets really bad, then, we got to get out of here.
Compared to the disastrous situation last week when overflow from the channel flooded nearby homes, Raul here is relieved for now.
Last week we had debris, we had trees, trunks flowing down the river or around down the channel, and now it's just water. There's no trash, there's no shopping carts, there's no trees, branches. It's moving along.
A steady stream of water rushing into storm drains here on Beta Street. A big presence of city workers clearing storm drains and monitoring the channel behind Southcrest Trails Park, where they had set up a temporary flood barrier. Neighbors here eager to recover and move on from last week's disaster.
I see it like this, but, we will prevail. We're here. Everyone from the neighborhood, they're just pulling together. And it's just it's a team effort with everyone.
Meanwhile, back on 42nd Street, Karen Hernandez and neighbors may be okay for today, but with more rain on the way into next week, they don't feel like they're in the clear just yet.
Still a little worried just because, there's still so much damage that people haven't recovered from, and having people hopefully not lose more of their things to these storms going on.
Fortunately, the Chollas Creek storm channel held the line today. Things could have been a lot worse. But shifting gears now, despite an emergency countywide eviction moratorium for storm-related evictions, people are bringing lawyers into the conversation as they're being told to move out. For more on this, I'm going to toss things over to our Jenny Day in National City.
Yeah, big mess and more fallout following last week's big and deadly storm. And before I show you some really powerful video, take a look at the parking lot tonight. Been raining pretty consistently all day and clearly no major flooding. Quite a big difference compared to this time last week. Same apartment complex, different storm. Water up to waist level last week, leaving many with flood damage on the first floor.
We started seeing the water really bad. So
days later, Cecilia Villegas says she was told by management to move out.
They want me to move out ASAP. They want me to give them the key, and I don't think it's fair.
The Park Villas just off Highland Avenue in National City offered 2 months in a hotel and then said her family could reapply for the unit once repairs were complete.
Not putting it in writing, telling them to leave for 2 months without the guarantee that they could come back, that wasn't right, and I think they knew it wasn't right, and I think that's why they didn't put it in writing.
She says not right and not legal. Allison Snow with the University of San Diego's Housing Rights Legal Clinic now represents these residents.
But the landlord has the obligation to do the repairs in a timely and diligent manner. This is their chance to do the right thing.
Those impacted by the storm huddled under more rain Thursday morning before heading into the leasing office to try to pay February rent and ensure their housing is secure. Instead, management called police.
So tenants reached out saying that they were desperate, not sure what the situation was, getting evictions, at least being told that they were going to be evicted last week, on top of losing all their possessions.
National City Council member Jose Rodriguez says most importantly, rent must be kept at the same price. Management told me they are following state guidelines because this complex falls under Section 8.
So we want to make sure that that rent is respected for them and they're not displaced or increase in rent as a result of this natural disaster that occurred last week.
A moratorium was signed by county leaders on Tuesday, saying there could be no storm-related evictions for 60 days.
I'm going to keep fighting for my family, for my kids.
Yeah, and something else that we are told that would be really helpful to make sure we get that federal funding is if you were impacted by the storm, be sure to take that survey on the county's website. The more accurately we're able to assess our damage, the more funding we'll be able to get for our neighbors in need. We are reporting live tonight from National City. Jenny Day, CBS 8.
Thanks, Jenny. And you can see the sun glow just behind her after a day of some really heavy rain as you forecast. What are current conditions, and are we expecting more rain?
We are expecting more rain, so we're still holding on to those chances tonight through tomorrow. It's just not going to be as heavy as it was earlier today.
Okay, good.
We did see more than an inch for a lot of locations. We'll get to those totals coming up. But taking a live look at that radar right now, we are not seeing too much going on. A little bit of sunshine there in Jenny's live shot. Now we are seeing a light shower near Oceanside, also looking at some scattered showers that's near Santee as well as for Humboldt. And over the last 6 hours, it's been a different story. We definitely had some heavier rainfall, and it moved in through a key time frame about 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. where we also had a flash flood warning that was issued, and that was impacting areas in North County like Carlsbad. You have the front that's still set to clear us, and it hasn't done it just yet. So not until we get past 7 p.m. tonight will that front actually clear. So still dealing with some of that scattered shower activity and even some residual moisture right behind it. Set the clock in motion. You're looking at some light showers around 6:15 tonight, and then you're seeing a little bit more intensity as we go into about 10:05. Even moderate rainfall that we're seeing for Del Mar near Oceanside, the same. And then we get into the snow, mountain snow, that snow level coming down near 4,000 feet. That brings snow about 1 to 3 inches across our mountains, and seeing that overnight for Mount Laguna. We'll go ahead and take a look at the next couple of storm systems coming up. Marcella?
Thanks, Carlene. Today's storm also hit our coastline. People in Mission Beach and Pacific Beach told us they prepared for the rain after many saw that flooding last week. CBS 8's Shannon Handy was out in the area today and has more on current conditions. Shannon?
Here in Mission Beach, there are stacks of sandbags piled up outside businesses. That's because some of them flooded during last week's storm. And while today's rain didn't turn out to be as bad, they're not taking any chances.
This is what it looked like in South Mission Beach last Monday. The water got so high, one business had to use a pump to clear it out. Today, the conditions were much better. Storm drains worked like they should, and no major flooding was reported.
Last week, we were up to our shins in water. This week, not so much.
Clifford Whitaker works at Lazy Eye Coffee. He and his neighbors prepare for this latest storm by putting up sandbags and clearing brush and debris from the street. He says city crews have been doing their part as well.
Yeah, they've been going up and down the street. I see them stopping where they need to and clearing out.
I drove around and saw city workers doing just that. I also checked areas that flooded last week to see how they fared today. This video was taken during last week's storm at the intersection of Pacific Beach Drive and Dawes Street in Pacific Beach, where 3 drivers and a dog had to be rescued after the cars they were installed. Today, cars drove straight through. That was also the case along Mission Boulevard, which looked like a river last week.
This is the Ralphs.
Despite the improvements, today's storm did have a big impact along our coast. In Encinitas, for example, cars were forced to maneuver around flooded streets. And check out the courts at this park off of Vulcan. They look more like ponds. Along Coast Highway and Carlsbad, we found more rain and strong winds. And in Oceanside, it was fairly quiet at the pier as rain seemed to keep most people inside. Back in Pacific Beach, it was quiet along the boardwalk as well. Though I did meet a couple from Minnesota out walking as they try to make the best out of their trip to so-called sunny San Diego.
We did not anticipate this much rain, that's for sure.
Shanna Handy, CBS 8.
Thanks, Shannon. CBS 8 is working for you. Yesterday, we teamed up with the Salvation Army to help people impacted by all the flooding. The Salvation Army says they are still tallying up the totals, but yesterday's flood drive has raised more than $57,000 by phone and $35,000 online. They expect to hit about $100,000. The Salvation Army says all of that money will stay right here in San Diego.
We've been helping people clothing, underwear, socks, bed sheets, pillows, whatever they lost in the flood. We're providing vouchers for them to go and purchase those items again and replenish their houses.
We want to thank a lot of you, our generous viewers, for donating and helping the people, many who have lost everything. If you missed donating yesterday, there's still time. Just head to our website, cbs8.com/help.